This is Mercy Actual. Any copy? I repeat, this is Mercy Actual. Any copy? This is Mercy Actual. Going comms open. All Yuri has been down. I've kept busy repairing equipment, scavenging food, fighting with the HVAC, and attempting to convince the Wolverine that machinery should not make that particular noise. During my occasional moments of downtime, I've been fighting my way through every campaign in Resident Evil 6. From everything I've been able to recover, Resident Evil 6 is considered the black sheep of the family. It gets plenty of hate, plenty of jokes, and is occasionally treated like a classified incident everyone has agreed never happened. Still, when you're trapped in a bunker with an enormous gaming backlog, your standards for acceptable entertainment become remarkably flexible. Overall, I would call Resident Evil 6 an average game. The story is completely unhinged. Some of the gameplay barely holds together, in my opinion, and several design decisions feel like they were made during, let's just say, cognitive impairment. But despite all that, I enjoyed it. Really did. So, I'm ranking all 4 campaigns from worst to best. Not in the suggested play order, but according to which ones I would go through again. So coming in at the very bottom, at peak here, is Chris's campaign. I enjoy a running gun action game as much as the next person, but it's not what I want from a survival horror game. Most of the campaign felt less like Resident Evil and more like bootleg Gears of War with fewer chainsaw bayonets. There are things I appreciated. Chris's PTSD and gradual emotional rebirth were handled more seriously than I expected. His behavior throughout, especially in Chapter 3, reminded me of a lot of veterans I knew, both in my PMC and during Friday night karaoke at the VFW. Now, back when either of those things were still things. Unfortunately, the cell character arc does not rescue the endless firefights, the military set pieces, a utterly horrible chase sequence, and enemies who, leave ammunition grew on trees. Seriously, those were hella SpongeBob enemies. Chris goes, like I said, bottom of the list, B tier. The B tier belongs exclusively to Sherry's campaign. I know. Technically, it's Jake's campaign, but Jake has roughly the personality of a cardboard cutout that somebody happened to draw edgy stubble on. This campaign had one of the more interesting story concepts. The children of Albert Wesker and William Birkin being forced to work together would have created a fascinating relationship. Instead, much of that potential became gimmicky gameplay sequences, an irritating stalker enemy, and a romance that neither the script nor the characters themselves seemed entirely committed to. The relationship culminates less in a meaningful emotional development, and more in really cheesy cutscenes involving balancing a 45 to kill an enemy. There's still enough here to enjoy, particularly whenever Barry is allowed to drive the story, but not enough to push it beyond B tier. B tier belongs exclusively to Leon and Ada. Leon's campaign, first 2 chapters are probably the closest Resident Evil 6 comes to genuine survival horror. The cramped streets, the panicked civilians, the chaotic outbreak atmosphere feel like an attempt to revisit Resident Evil 2 through the more action-focused design of Resident Evil 4 and 5. For a while it works. Then the campaign induces a final boss who simply refuses to die. Every time I thought we'd finished them, we returned with another transformation, another arena, another increasingly bad idea for a mechanic to kill him. Seriously, Derek, Ada wasn't into you. Get over and die. Please. Leon earns the A tier, but only barely. My favorite campaign, though, was Ada's. A large part of that came from the lack of an AI-controlled partner. I know Agent in Clerks is available for multiplayer, but obviously I blame the single player, really no internet these days, and I don't even know if I'm talking to anybody or if I'm just going insane. But after spending the rest of the game babysitting AI characters, waiting for doors, wondering what my companion was shooting at, companion that was deliberately designed around one player was refreshing. And his missions also gave me some stealth, some exploration, some mind-bogglingly easy puzzle solving, but still puzzle solving, that I'd wanted in the rest of the game. Unfortunately, two things really kept it from reaching S tier. The first was the wall of glue. I have a YouTube short out that shows me in that wall of glue. I hated the wall of glue. The second was the story. This campaign should have tied the entire game together. Instead, it answered several questions by replacing them with larger, stranger questions, and then quietly just left anything else alone. In the end, I was more confused at the end of Ada's campaign than I was the rest of the story. But it was still the campaign I enjoyed the most. It's still the one that I actually have already done some replay on. Just not chapter 4. So Ada takes the top position as the A tier. If there was an A plus tier, I would say she was A plus. Alright. That was my extremely personal, extremely subjective ranking of the Resident Evil 6 campaigns. Versus in the B tier, Jake and Sherry are in the B tier, and Leon and Ada share the A tier. But just barely, because Ada really wants to go up. So, did Leon deserve the A tier? Did Chris deserve the G tier? Just let me know. If you're out there, if you can hear me, leave your own rankings in the comments. Let me know I'm not alone. This is Mercy Actual. Stay safe out there. Over and out.